Hi, everybody. My name's Rich. I use the he, him pronouns. You're watching my YouTube channel where I play amazing tabletop role playing games with friends. This is a twofold, really exciting thing. The first half is that it is part of Gauntlet community. The Gauntlet is an online group of uh, worldwide, across all kinds of different time zones. We've got people in like CPAC and Europe and USicans, and it's great. We all play together online. This was pre-pandemic where that was a rare thing, but now it's awesome, and that's why we're doing the Gauntlet Community Open Gaming Weekend. We do this every few months, trying to bring new folks on board, walk them through how we play, enjoy the games that we like, and share it with others. So that is part of this. It's also part of Star Wars Saturdays, which is a game series that I've been running for almost 3 years now, where every month, sometimes a couple times within the month, I'll choose a different role-playing game system, hack it, shave off some weird edges, and just shove it into the Star Wars universe. Folks from the Gauntlet community and with the Open Gaming Weekend, folks who found out about us and are interested in trying it out, we'll come together, we create characters, and together we'll tell a story. It's an anthology, loosely connected to the original trilogy of movies. Right now, I've kind of generally moved the timeline ahead because my brain has problems with like this was before, but this would have happened in this character. So we just go generally forward in a loose anthology. I kind of think of it like the Thieves World series. You guys ever read the Aspirin, series of novels of the Thieves World, where he had lots of different authors and they were generally telling a story that was progressing forward, but it's about a bunch of different characters throughout this one city. If you haven't read the books, don't worry. I've just described what I liked about it. That right there, that thing. And so we're generally, Palpatine is dead. The timeline that we're at, he fell down a shaft, which means he's like completely toast and never coming back, guys. Because in Star Wars, that's a thing. You fall down any kind of shaft or into the maw of a beast, no fan can save you in the expanded universe. Speaking of expanded universe, generally the only thing I consider true are the movies, right? So, and because we're at the end of Return of the Jedi, that's all that's true. Everything else we'll play with in any way, shape, or form. We're not Disney. We don't have to pay $1 billion to do it. We're just imagining folks who are super nerds, and so we're going to do that thing. This game is generally PG-13, and the game is Hutt Cartel. Hutt Cartel is my loving reskin of Mark Diaz Truman's Mexican narco fiction powered by the apocalypse game called Cartel. In Cartel, the player characters are part of doing that Mexican narco fiction thing. So you can play things from the Narcos, which is like the drug lord, to members of the organization or the person's family, or even Crooked Policia. It's a fantastic game, and the PDF has just been sent to backers, which is fantastically cool. I've used the quick start from actually a year and a half, 2 years ago, to reskin it to Star Wars. So everything that was Spanish, I tried to make it Star Warsy, and that's all that it is. All the game design, all the genius is fully Mark Diaz Truman's thing. I just reskinned it to do it because Hutt Cartel, I couldn't resist putting that chocolate and that peanut butter together. That's it. So with this game, PG-13, we have lines that we as a group have defined. I'll real quickly state that out. On top, we have a line against sexual assault, sexual violence, and animal abuse. And then veils on consensual sex, death, and endangerment of children, and domestic violence. So those are our lines and veils. Lines are things that don't happen. Veils are, we're okay if that fiction exists, but we're not going to shine the light on it. We're not going to get any gory details, etc., etc. In Hutt Cartel, because of Cartel, there are drug moves. There is the harm move for this is pretty damn brutal. So when you get carking shot, things are really on the line. You are not like a D&D character. When you get shot, there's a possibility that your character is dead. You don't want to get shot. That said, it might happen. The game is set in on Coruscant. Coruscant is the capital world of the Star Wars thing. It's the place where after Palpatine died, they show the really cool celebration, and the Emperor Palpatine statue is knocked down. We took out the Yub Nub song version of the Star Wars Return of the Jedi. Dang it. We still got Yub Nub. You take my Yub Yub from my cold dead fingers. It's always going to be there. Yub Nub is the song that the Ewoks sang. Sorry. And so the setting is 1313, which is 1,313 levels below. So Coruscant is one big Epinopolis. I can't remember the stupid name for it, but it's basically a world city, right? Because everything in Star Wars this is Hoth, it's the ice world. This is the forest moon of Endor, it's the forest world. Well, Coruscant was the city world. And you see behind me this cool little picture, that shaft in this picture, this is in 1313. So you're 1,313 levels below the surface of the planet. There are people who will be born and live their entire lives never having seen anything other than that shaft's sunlight, right? They never go all the way up. There are a number of spaceships that will go up and down, bringing things to and from, but this is the underworld, literally. Crime is rampant. Reprocessed air is all that you have to breathe, and this place is still under Imperial control. So Palpatine's dead. The New Republic hasn't necessarily taken hold. There's still a lot of fighting going on. There's a guy named Satine who's stepped in to kind of be the person who is in the Emperor Prestige, State Prestige. Doesn't matter. That's way like 1,300 levels above. And so that's our setting, right? Narco fiction is what we're about. It's definitely harder edged, more Rogue One than Return of the Jedi. And while I decried the loss of Yevna, probably not going to be any singing Ewoks. A lot of the art that I have used in the, like if you look in the Plaza tab, guys, that's all from a video game that never happened that would have been amazing, that was set on this level, called 1313. So it's pretty harsh and kind of amazing. There's even a picture, like the third one down, of an astromech droid, like the head has been chopped off and it's now being used like a barrel fire. It's that kind of game. So I've talked a lot. Now I will pause and say, Stephen, introduce yourself. Tell us about your character.
Hi, my name's Stephen. I use the he, him pronouns. Today I'm playing Onathan. She is she's an Alderani who has fallen down on her luck. And it's the Hawk playbook. So she's kind of scruffy and has kind of chopped hair and brown eyes, and she's a little bit nervous and twitchy because she doesn't know who she can depend on. I have a gang, and they turn to violence more often than is everyone's normally comfortable with. The gang consists of a big Keldor named Pears, who's ready to throw in whenever I need him. A young little Twi'lek girl named Ayaz, and she's a pickpocket, and she cheers me up whenever whenever she's going around. Whenever I'm feeling really down, she cheers me up. And then I've got a laser brain Trandoshan named Clink, and Clink, I don't know why I don't cut him loose. I just can't yet, but he's okay to have around. Shoots and does what he needs to, so that's fine. They are big enough. They each have their own crew, so they count as a small gang. They're always down for a fight, and they are known, and they owe someone. They're on the Corsex radar, and they owe a favor. I owe a favor to someone.
Let me check in with our lines and veils. So we have a. I just want to ask about the Twi'lek. So we have death, endangerment of children as a veil. Are you okay if that character could be put under threat? I guess is the question I want to ask.
I'm okay with that, but if something comes up, I'd appreciate it if we could talk about it at the table to make sure everyone's okay with it.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I'm on board with that.
Good. I don't have any plans. I'm just asking ahead. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay, cool. Thank you very much, Stephen. Dan, introduce yourself. Tell us about your character.
Hello, I'm Dan. I use the he, him pronouns. I'm playing a rat, which seems to be the kind of playbook where this person is a bit of a connector, but maybe they're starting to have some regrets about being involved with the gang. In my case, D3RP is a droid. I'm picturing this droid as used to work up level on Coruscant, maybe at a really nice restaurant or parlor or something like that, where they played a host and were subsequently recruited by the cartel for a variety, or maybe sold to the cartel for a variety of tasks. One of the interesting things about D3RP is that they used to have a counterpart, a little astromech droid named 3V3T, and the cartel acquired this droid as well, but reprogrammed it. And so I'm sort of harboring some resentment towards the cartel, and perhaps starting to look into betraying the cartel, even ratting on them, so to speak.
That's awesome. Wow. Yeah, so you work regularly with some NPCs. I see we've got some names for them. That's good. A person who's always asking for your help, a person who suspects your treachery. Interesting. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about these. I just put some random names in, but if some other NPCs come along, we can swap that out. They ended up, the cartel ended up using, so one of the details about this playbook is that the cartel uses the rat for a couple of key activities. I selected counting credits, tracking payments, and accounting, so sort of some of the more droidy kind of bookkeeping type stuff, but also because I am programmable and ultimately my trustworthiness is at the whim of whoever programs me, protecting the Druglords' spouse and family as well.
Ooh, so you can throw down if need be, huh? Cool.
That's what they think, sure.
You have not disavowed them of that
no
belief. That sounds cool. I like it a lot.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
What did they reprogram 3v3T to do?
I suspect something that D3RP finds objectionable, and I wonder if it has something to do with the preparation of the drugs.
Nice. Well, that's a great setup for our cook, Greg S. Introduce yourself. Tell us about your cook.
Yeah, I'm Greg S. Greg Sherrick, he, him, and it's Dithy Haboth. He doesn't not like the nickname Dithy, but everyone in this world calls him that. And I think of him as tall and slumped. He wears older, slightly worn, stylish clothing, in the sense that I'm thinking his family might be nobility or rich that fell on hard times. And so he recently got kicked out of the academy. He's a chemist, and he's quite smart, but it was discovered he was falsifying his research. So some research thing that he was going to publish, maybe his theory didn't pan out, and he thought I could just get this by, and it didn't. So he got kicked out. And so that's why he's kind of been turned to this more illicit work, which he thinks is completely underneath him, but is forced to do this, or feels forced. And so, yeah, he's like wearing the slightly worn, stylish clothing, in the sense that anyone who wore this stylish, nice clothing wouldn't be wearing it this worn, right? They would have moved on to the latest fashion, but he can't do that. He has a lab. Oh, one question. This paranoia, I looked over here, and actually there is one called arrogance for the cook.
Okay. Would you rather have that one?
Yeah. Can I just cut and paste? I noticed that's like some lookup thing.
Yeah, I can stick that in there for you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll take that one. I think that fits him.
Instead of paranoia, you want arrogant. Okay.
Arrogance. Yep. Yeah.
I'll drop that in for you.
Let's see. Oh, I didn't do this yet. So the lab basically has professional equipment, has an assistant who prepares the chemicals in advance. Could that be the droid?
I think that is the droid. I like that tie a lot.
And what was the droid's name again?
3v3T?
Yes.
3v3T. Okay, cool. Sometimes the lab is inaccessible and it relies on uncommon chemicals. So I'm thinking he put this, actually I hadn't thought where it would be, but we'll say it's, somewhere away from where he lives, because he doesn't think this is his life, right? He wants to keep it separate. But it is problematic to get there. I would say the first thing that actually pops in my head, but I'm up to other things, is maybe it's under some sort of sports stadium or near some sort of sports stadium. And so when there's crowds, it's hard for him to get to, or he can't cook, or it's too, basically he like got this spot not knowing there was a sports stadium 2 blocks away. And then now he's got to deal with his, mistake that, it's hard for him to admit to himself.
Okay. So is this a pod racing thing, or do you think it's more like a smash ball, kind of Nuna ball kind of thing, which is football-ish, rugby-ish type deal?
I don't know. The first thing that popped in my head was soccer stadium, right?
Okay.
But I'm up for any sports. I'm just picturing large crowds that he can hardly stand, right? Like the unclean masses come and ruin his business.
Nice.
So yeah, he has an elderly parent. We'll say they're living in some sort of, maybe they're still living in some sort of, what do you call it? Diplomat house or something. And so he's trying to, support his elderly parent, his mother, Jahul Haboth, who is very needy, right? She can't take care of herself. He has an old coworker, we'll say a grad school office mate, that sees him as the smart guy he is, but then also sees his flaws, who they do have some sort of interaction, right? He checks in on him. He's worried about him. Super nice guy, but doesn't know anything about what he's doing. Doesn't know anything about the illicit activity. I haven't come up with a name for him. So if someone...
if you want to tie in with my character, you could take Witcher Core, the info chant.
Okay.
He's
What's
like a...
What's an info chant?
I think they're like...
info chant's a cool term.
Yeah. I think they like manage some sort of probably like newspaper or something.
Okay.
Like whatever the Star Wars newspaper, right? They have a maybe because he's very suspicious of me.
Okay, let's do that. And we'll say it wasn't a grad school, but it was a college buddy, right?
Nice. So you got an Ugnaught buddy. That sounds fun.
And then finally, there's one of the secrets is a kid who thinks you are beyond reproach. And I kind of have a hard time tying that one in. Might that be, is it Ona's pickpocket?
Yeah, that sounds great. Her name is Ayaz, Ayaz, and there's a picture of her in the NPC and Places tab.
Cool.
Yeah, she looks up to you.
And I think that's it.
Question. I'm looking at the keys and I don't see arrogant. Where did you see that?
That is, it's in the PDF or the Google Doc.
Google Doc for
Yeah,
the
that's where I saw it. Like
Cartel-
keys,
okay.
choose two, and I'm fine with the paranoia. It's just I
There
saw
it
the
is.
arrogant.
Wow. Why did
Yeah.
I not move that over? Thank you. I'll get that into your. I'll
But
drop
I think
that in right
arrogance
now.
fits him quite well.
Yeah, that's weird. Wonder why I didn't have that already keyed in. I'll fix it. Let's see. So I like that tie between our pickpocket and the cook. What is it about? What is it about Dithy that she's so impressed? Like, what has he done, whether he meant to or not, that gained her attention and her respect?
Yeah, it's the fact that he's from a wealthy family. He has like formal robes and all that kind of stuff. She doesn't recognize that they're older or worn or anything like that. She just sees they're really fancy.
Totally makes sense. And you've done nothing to encourage this, Dithy? It's just a thing you're saddled with, is the
You're
attention
unmuted.
of this.
Oh,
Greg,
we
I
can't
can't
hear
hear you.
Yeah, you're muted.
Oh boy.
Oh, there you are.
We can hear you now. We can hear
Okay,
you now.
cool. If it's horrible, I can move to my other computer, which shouldn't be too long. That should be very quick. No, he's done nothing. I would say he's kind of uncomfortable with it. Do you know what I mean? Like her affection makes him a little uncomfortable. And one final thing, we'll say that his dad was some ancient diplomat, not ancient, but his father's passed away. And with his father's passing, the family has been slowly going downhill.
Nice.
So
That is cool. I like the idea of the fading noble thing. How long has it been going on, this fading? Is it something from the Clone Wars from like 30, 40 years ago that you guys have been generation over generation getting worse?
Oh, I would say, we'll say the dad maybe died in the like 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll say maybe the dad is kind of like Dithy in that kind of arrogant, didn't have a lot of friends. Maybe people feared him more than liked him.
Mm-hmm.
And so when he died, the family maybe didn't get as much support as they might have had if they had more friends.
Nice. Do you imagine that Dithy, like this family, didn't grow up on 1313, that you guys have just ended up here? You immigrated?
Yeah. We'll say they came for. We'll say Dithy's been here probably most of his life.
Mm-hmm.
He grew up here. The father was a diplomat, and now he's like a young adult and still here. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So most of his life's been here.
Yeah.
Maybe on the surface because he's a diplomat, right?
And maybe he used to
then
go
ended up-
back, right? Every summer he used to go back to his home world.
Oh, that's nice.
But hasn't for a long time.
Oh my goodness, Dan, you're the best. Look at this. This is so good. So good. So Dan takes notes, and his notes are better than my chicken scratching. So thank you. Oh, one little thing you can do in Zoom that helps me as a MC is if you, I don't know if you have it in Google, if you have this in gallery view, then you can see yourself most likely. Click on the period of ellipsis above your little box, and you can do a rename. Like I've renamed to MC Rich, and Greg Gelder did Pat Creech. If you guys can do that, it helps me to remember who is what character. Otherwise, I will start to call on Dan and then jump to the character keeper and, and then look. And so I appreciate if you guys can do that. If you're like, oh, everybody's done it. Awesome. Fantastic. Thank you all so much. Let's go to, I don't think we've heard from Steven. Let's learn about Steven.
I haven't done my intro yet.
Oh, okay. We have done Steven because we talked about the 12.
Yeah.
Yes, Greg.
Oh, good. I'm Greg Gelder, he, him pronouns for me. Pack Creech is my Crooked ISB agent, also uses he, him pronouns. He has tired, droopy, triple eyeballs. He largely has unwashed clothes, but his ISB, it's still an ISB badge. He hasn't gotten the new ones yet. Is very polished. Takes good care of it. The force is transitioning, right, with Palpatine starting to fall, Palpatine's fall, and the New Republic taking over. But everything's kind of in flux. And he's been assigned a new partner, Hutt Cartel, who's a total rookie, at least from Pack's point of view. Doesn't know, largely gets in the way. Pack has been running this undercover thing for the ISB, runs a food truck called Pack's Spiced Pork, where down at 1313, and uses it as sort of a cover because the food truck is also a super high-tech surveillance speeder, and he has his fingers in all of the pork pies. And most notably, and this works out perfectly with how you described D3RP, Dan. He has a court-approved wiretap on D3RP and is keeping his tabs on him or on it just to, there's something going on there. He probably had to pull some strings extrajudicially to get that wiretap done. Witter Core, Dithy's friend from college, is highly suspicious of Pack. Maybe is not openly slandering him yet, but is thinking that there's something going on with Pack. He's not just this lowly pork cooker. Then I also have some contacts in the cartel. Someone almost gave me away, and someone offered to scam the Druglord. Maybe I think that that laser-brained Trandoshan Clank tried to get me to scam the Druglord. I'm not sure who almost gave me away. It could be my partner.
It could be. Is there anybody else that has ideas on somebody within the cartel who almost gave away Pack's relationship, playing both sides? No thoughts.
Is there somebody in your circle, D3RP?
You're talking on mute, Dan.
I was just looking at that, and I'm wondering if we pick one of my NPCs that I work with regularly.
That sounds like a good plan.
I've got a Zola who's always asking me for help, but maybe, and then Gata is the one who's always suspecting me of treachery.
Nothing's really Gata.
You go with Gata. And I think Pax Spiced Porg definitely goes to the sporting events that's near Dithy's lab because there's always a big crowd there. So that may be a little tie-in there. I definitely see Pack as there secretly, surreptitiously collecting all sorts of communications going around while he's also serving his Spiced Porg.
So Gata suspects D3RP of treachery and also almost outed Pack.
Gata's got to go. I suspect Gata did it accidentally, and maybe I don't know. What do you think about this, Greg? That Pac was maybe conversing with his partner or something like that, and Gata caught sight of that. Does that fit?
Yeah, that works.
Nice. I'm digging it. Okay, cool. So I've got those folks in the NPCs in places. I'm gonna throw in a pick for Zola. If you don't like it, sticking her on row 5. She claims that she's Alderani. It's a lie. Gata. What do we want for Gata? Do we have a thought for species for Gata? What Gata might look like?
What are those little guys?
There are lots of little guys. Ugnaught, Jawa.
The one from episode 4 where it's sort of like grasping for the drink.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Oh yeah. They kind of have like bat features in a way, like anthropomorphized bat. I think I know what you're talking about. There's dadgum. I know what you're talking about. I can't remember it. Cool. Well, I'll find that picture as we go. Sweet.
Hydra fan.
Oh, there you go. Sweet. Grab a pick if you've got one there, Greg Gilder, and throw it in there. Sweet. Let's do some ties between you all. I think, first of all, just to answer the question of what sport, I think it would be fun if it is Nunaball. It is a sport played by droids, which displeases the Biological Athletes Union, which is why it's ended up here in 1313. It's called Nunaball because the ball is a creature known as a Nuna that gets kicked around. It's kind of like soccer. It's like droid soccer. It's getting pumped up as a, entertain the masses kind of gladiatorial type deal. So it's pretty cheap to produce because droids. So let's do ties. Let's start from left to right on the character keeper. So Dithy, you've got some ties to hand out.
Okay. And so these are all, each of these needs to be a PC?
No, they're preferred to be PC. And one thing that I haven't done in my conversion is that in Cartel, everyone are humans. So having people be family is very easy.
Mm-hmm.
In Hutt Cartel, we like to play weird alien species. So when it says close family, we can just work that out. Adoptees or like family, anything along those lines. So don't feel like that limits you to have to be Ithorian. So with that said,
all right.
Preferred PCs, but we'll make new characters.
All right. We'll start with the second one. Blank got you into this business to help you with your financial troubles. Let's see. Who's connected with the no, not connected with the college buddy. What I'm thinking is maybe the Hawk or the Crooked ISB agent got me involved in this. I'm kind of thinking the Crooked ISB agent, someone that kind of more recruited me. I'm thinking of the Hawk. I wouldn't listen to the time of day from the Hawk because I'm kind of arrogant. So yeah, we'll say Pack.
Wow, I brought you to the attention of the Druglord. That's interesting. Okay, I like that.
That work?
No, that works. That works.
Yeah. All right, you and Blank have an understanding, need each other for now, but both the current situation won't last. I'm thinking maybe Ona.
That sounds perfect.
Nice.
And then family. Let's see. Because I think of him as thinking of himself as disconnected from this society, even though he truly is part of it. So
I'm okay if that's his mom, because you mentioned his mom being really needy, and that could totally be that tie. Because I think getting the opportunity to play an Ithorian mom is something I can't resist. So.
All right, awesome.
Sweet. Steven, with our Hawk, you've got some ties.
Right.
Looks like you already worked through some of those in the introduction, right?
I put in some notes so I wouldn't forget as people created, their characters and discussed what they were, because otherwise I'd be like, who was that guy? Okay, so I'll start with someone gave me new responsibilities lately at my request. They have their doubts, but I'll prove them wrong soon. How about if that's the Crooked ISB agent? Yeah, I think
I
you
go with that.
said, hey, maybe do something that might not be great with the cartel. Yeah. The next one is someone disapproves of your cartel work and wants to get you out. And you're not a kid, you can handle your own business. How about if that's D3RP, and maybe they're trying to get the Twilight Kid Ayaz out? What do you think of that, Dan?
Yeah, that sounds fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I kind of see the like D3RP as a rat, and the whole this person was reprogrammed in a way this little Twilight girl is reprogrammed too. Yeah,
Right.
That's neat. Dig that.
And then the last one is me and someone have a plan to make some real money. They worry it's not going to work, but it's a sure thing. And I think that's me and the cook. How about that? Yeah, I think maybe this is a better way to sell things, or maybe make it more potent or something like that. You make it, I'll sell it.
Yeah, gotcha.
Perfect.
All right. That is cool. What do you guys think the plan is? Like, are you selling stuff on the side to another gang? Do you think that you're going to unseat the current drug lord? What's your plan to make some real money?
How about if we make more potent drugs? They might be more dangerous, but they're more potent, and therefore we can keep more of the profits.
Nice. So let's figure out what drug as a cook you make, Dithy. So if we look at the drug moves, we have spice, right? Waste it, slick, and then just intoxicant liquids. But we're not going to worry about intoxicant liquids. We have slick, waste it, and spice. So spice is like, I'm trying to remember of what the analogs for the different drugs are off the top of my head, because I just kind of did closest version of, let's see. So sweet. So if I remember correctly, spice is like, I'm sorry. I am. Let's see. We'll just jump into the actual PDF. Yeah, so like the drugs are heroin, marijuana, cocaine, and meth, and let's find the drug moves. And I will be able to tell you, just so you have an idea of what's like what, so you know what you're making. All right. So spice is effectively push someone who cares about. Is like heroin. Waste it is like cocaine. So I'll put this in our drug notes thing so that you can remember. Slick is like crystal meth. Which of these do you want to be the main thing that you make? I think crystal meth is like the dangerous thing, right? Like cooking crystal meth is dangerous, but
Right. Yeah.
So do you
Well,
think? No, go ahead.
How about we've been doing heroin, and Ona wants to bump it up to do crystal meth as well. And I
Okay.
have some reservations about that because it's more dangerous. But I can't. I mean, I'm too arrogant to say I couldn't do it.
Come on, is it too hard to cook, some slick? I mean,
So you guys are you're working on some slick on the side. The main production is spice, which is great, right? Hutt Cartel, spice running really, really good for Star Wars, and that's fantastic. Good. Thank you all so much for that. That gives me an idea of that plan and helps a lot. Now let's move to our Crooked ISB agent. You already got
Okay.
some stuff worked through
Similarly,
this.
I put some ideas in here. Obviously, subject to change. I grew up with Ona in Sector 1313. You still have a drink after work if you're both free. It's nice to know someone who isn't involved with either side of your double life. I don't know if that one actually applies though on the second part. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, it usually that
Yeah.
character is often an NPC, but I do like the idea if you guys like it's a one shot. So if you're good with it, Ono, we can just go with that.
Okay, let's
Good
go
with
with that. I think we're both aware of that, but maybe we try to keep that relationship separate as much as we can.
Yeah.
Dithy is the target of an active investigation. You're not the lead investigator, but you're regularly briefed on the case, which of course is problematic because I got Dithy into it. And then I have D3RP is my main contact for the cartel. Tell them where you two go to speak directly when you need to do a face-to-face meeting. Let's look. We have NPCs and places.
Yeah, we have some places. They're really loose, right? We have a place called Viscosity, which is kind of a neon filtered dive bar. We have Setsu's Show Cantina, where
I
you
like
can hear
the
lots
show cantina.
Nice.
And maybe Pac grew up here, so I think Pac has long memories of it. The D3RP was sold into 1313, right?
Mhm.
So I think it's problematic too because like the cantina in A New Hope, droids are not technically allowed, but for Pac they make an exception.
Oh, nice. You are that powerful. So this is that cantina. Oh, man, that's pretty sweet. Why are you ratting this out? This is a great life, D3RP. Sure, your best friend was reprogrammed, but it happens all the time, right? Cool. That's good. Those are real good. Oh, thank you for finding the picture for Gata, and that's a great pick, by the way. Good work. Good. So that works out all of them. So now let's go to our rat and formalize your ties.
Sounds good. Let me start at the bottom and work my way up.
Sounds good.
So I said me and Ona, the hawk, started sleeping together a few weeks ago. I don't know exactly what that means with a droid, but maybe because I had worked in hospitality previously, I am versed in all forms of.
Are you saying you're fully functional?
Fully functional, intimacy and pleasure.
I just crossed the streams and made a Star Trek joke. Sorry.
That was pretty good. So Ona, are you okay with that?
Oh yeah, that sounds great.
All right, cool. And Pac, this works well with the one that you just said. Pac works with me regularly on cartel business. I don't trust them, but I'm confident they don't know my secrets yet. So we're regularly meeting together, and I'm as worried as a droid gets about being found out. So
we're going to quadruple cross each other. It's going to be great.
So much crossing.
Okay. This last one was a little harder. I didn't feel like I wanted any of the PCs to know that I was an informant. So I suggested that we do the boss's spouse, who I do spend some time with regularly. Part of my responsibilities is to look out for them or protect them. And so maybe they know that I am an informant and they haven't told anyone, but they're starting to blackmail me. I don't know what that looks like yet, but Richie, okay with my using the boss's spouse?
Absolutely. We definitely need to now define our boss. That is good. Cool. So I originally had a thought for our Druglord, but I feel like it kind of steps on Dithy's toes a little bit, so that I'm going to open it back up. What I'm going to is just, we'll kind of go in rounds and we will Exquisite Corpse will build our Druglord together. I'm going to be looking at the Zoom for folks. So let's start off with Ona Thon. Is the Druglord a human, which makes it easier for the drug lord to integrate with Coruscant's upper echelon and the Imperials and all that good stuff? Or are they a non-human who have forced their way in by using the power of the Hutt Cartel?
They're non-human, and they're kind of jealous that it's so easy for people to make it up. So they're trying to push their way upward, but I think the ISB and the powers that be and higher levels are keeping them down.
Good. So then, Pack, Creech, this non-human drug lord, are they like young and highly aggressive and trying to move up and pushing hard against the Black Sun, or are they older and kind of set in their ways and have ended up here in 1313 as a proxy that the Hutt Cartel trusts implicitly?
I think they're older. I think because they're older, they're embittered, because they have seen that it was easier for humans before. And then I also think that they're old school in that we do spice, we don't do slick.
That's perfect.
Right. They're set in their ways. They're controlled. They know the business of spice, and slick is the stuff that's coming in that they won't touch.
Nice. That's really good, and that's a nice tie to the scheme you guys have. So Dithy, and again, if you don't have any ideas on species, that's totally cool. But gender, male, female, non-conforming. I'm not hearing any audio from you, Greg. Let's see. No luck there. Okay.
Oh, you hear me here, or?
Yep. Okay. That works. All right, cool.
Let's say female.
Okay. And do you have a species, or do you want to pass that off and I'll ask somebody else?
Wait, where was the species list? Wasn't there? Oh, I see it. I got
it's green. It's one of the green tabs.
How about female Gamorrean?
Wow. That is old school.
All right.
Man, female Gamorrean. No wonder she's so embittered. So D3RP, you're working with this female Gamorrean's spouse. Is it a trophy wife of some kind?
Gosh. I am stunned.
I was too. I'm like, whoa.
I wonder if, because this is maybe the Gamorrean was former Hutt muscle, and when the Hutt started going down, she kind of spun off her own thing and took one of the Hutt's slave dancers.
Mm-hmm. That works.
Does that feel good? And that I'm going to say male Twi'lek dancer.
It's a trophy wife, but there we go. We'll just trophy husband. They saved slavery.
I feel like we've gone well up that canon, but I like it.
I'll put saved in quotes. Oh man, that picture that I just saw pop into the NPCs and places is pretty cool. That's our 3v3T. That sounds good. That is the wildest thing. There are not many pictures of female Gamorreans, friends, so I'll be reusing a picture that Greg may have memories of. Actually, Stephen, you might too, but I like the picture anyway, so I'll just use...
I'm thinking female Gamorreans look like male Gamorreans to outsiders.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
They kind of, sort of, absolutely, totally do. This is wild. I did not see this coming, and it's great. So we have a male Twi'lek. Do we go Twi'lek? Is that where you went for the spouse?
Yeah.
Cool. Cool. So we got a male Twi'lek. Let's grab a name, and we'll throw a picture in there. I've got some Twi'lek pics we can put in later. No rush. You like Desha Bandara? Actually, Diaz already got in there. Aola Blancuna, Gunvina. Any of those sound good to you?
Any of them. Yeah, I don't really have a strong.
We'll go with Gunvina. I kind of like that name. Of Groga. And this spouse is the one you have your tie with.
That's right.
And that will finish us up there. So, boss, the spouse is Groga, knows you're an informant. They haven't told anyone. They're blackmailing you to get what they want. Man, they're not a great person, or maybe they have reasons. That's fantastic. Okay. Let me see. No, it's a dancer. I have this one picture of a Twi'lek male that is like, here, I'll just show you. This definitely not this one, but I love this picture anyway. Look at that guy. That is a messed up looking Twi'lek.
Nice.
But I'll find it. I've got some pretty male Twi'leks as well. Sweet. Does anyone have any questions or other stuff, follow-ups from all the world building that we've just done, whether you want to slip it in before we take our mid-game break?
Can I ask, can we just restate the premise, sort of the thing
Yes.
for about our little crew here trying to separate from the Druglord? Did I get that from Guna? Did I get that right? What was that?
The premise of, okay, I'm not sure I understand the question. So the premise of the game, the premise of the scheme?
Yeah, the scheme.
The scheme. So D3RP as a rat. That is a fair question. So who are you ratting out to? Do you think you're ratting to Corsec, which is why you've worked with Pac before?
Yeah, I think it was Steven who kind of set this up earlier.
I like that.
I just kind of missed some of the details. So
I think we all have our own agenda. So I'm in there to get money, and I'm using Dithy to see if we can make some good smack. But I think that like Pac's trying to get some of us out, and you're trying to make sure that everyone stays safe and gets out. So I think we have competing agendas.
Got it. Okay.
I'm just trying to figure out who I can put in jail. Who's gonna give me the most money to keep out of jail?
Sweet. So we've got a lot on the you're comfy with that, Dan? Like that's good? Okay, good. Got a lot on the board. We have two start of session moves that we'll roll when we come back from break. And usually that will get things rolling. So yeah, we can make those rolls when we come back. It is currently 35 after. Let's take a nice healthy 10-minute break. When we come back, it'll be a quarter till, and we'll jump straight in and get gears firing. See you guys in a bit. Welcome back, everybody. So, okay, switching computers, no problems. Let's start with our start of session stuff. Our Gregs do the cooking thing. Let's do our cooking one. That's nice and easy. There is a roll for your party. Let me share that with you guys. Roll for your party is an online die roller. If you want to roll physical dice, you totally can. That's a-okay with me. But it's always fun to have an online die roller so we can all see the heights and the lows of your success or failure. So we will start off with our cook dithy. You've got a move called cooking. If you're fully stocked in cooking at the start of session, you're fully stocked in cooking. You get to roll with grit. That means you're going to roll 2d6 plus your grit score. You have a grit of 2.
Okay. So what? Pick one of these bad boys, Chick, Sarahan, or on the die roller, or just pick my own 2 dice.
What are you looking at?
I'm
got
looking at roll
the
for your
old one.
party.
Oh, are you using the old one? I'm sorry.
Oh, is there a new one? Okay.
Yeah, there's a new one because that old one's so old that like you can't actually re-roll dice. You have to roll fresh ones. So use vertically capable mastiff. And sorry about that. I should have cleared that out. I didn't.
So submit. Bam. Ooh, that's a nice good one. And my grit is 2.
2. Oh man.
Which
So
doesn't
4
matter.
plus 3. Yeah, this is the heartbreaker of this game because it's no XP on a miss. It's keys related. All right, on a 7 to 9, you cover your nut, but you have to mark on a miss. Something's gone wrong. One of your lab problems comes to bear. So when you had problems for creating your lab, what did you go with?
Well, let's see. The problems were sometimes inaccessible, right? Maybe there's like a big tournament going on.
Yeah, there's a huge Nunaball tournament. And it's some kind of championship. It's huge. There are people all over, and there's no way you can get to cook. You can't get in to cook. You. In fact, 3v3T is working on trying to find some sewer access or something so that you can get there.
Actually, I will point out that you take +1 to cooking because you took 3v3T, so it's actually a 7.
All right, fantastic.
Yep. Yeah.
So
Yep.
thank you for that. On a 7 to 9, you cover your nut, but you have to mark stress or use up the last of something vital. Let's still keep the Nunaball tournament going on. It's problematic, but we'll say that you found a way to get in and out. You just have to go in really off hours. So do you want to mark stress?
Yeah, I'll mark some stress.
Fantastic. Stress is awesome in this game. There's a cycle of stress moves and ways to relieve stress. Stress is a kind of your harm track. Because if you take real harm, the chances are you might die. Sweet. Great. Pack, you've got a start of session move as well.
Let's see if I get wind of an investigation.
Yeah.
I'm doing the khaki dice, which are the color of spiced pork. Here we go. That's an 8 plus grit. That's a 9.
A 9. All right. What happens on a 7 to 9? On a hit.
On a hit, I get wind of an investigation before things get messy. If I had rolled just a little bit better, I'd be able to take advantage of the situation.
Yeah.
Darn it.
Sweet. So let's do an open session here with Pack. You're at the 1313 Coruscant headquarters, so Coruscant Security. You, as a member of the ISB, although you guys are they're like just called the Security Bureau at this point. Like, there's a whole lot of stuff up on the surface about is there an empire, is there not an empire, and that's all politics at this point. You're just part of the Security Bureau, so you're like an attaché, like the FBI is to the cops. That's you. Do you have like a cubicle or an office, do you think, for Pack?
It's a cubicle. It's Pack is largely ignored, I think.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
I think
so
it's not the department that you want to be in. The 1313 cartel. Yeah. It's not glamorous.
No. The captain comes around, has everybody, hey, look up. Listen, we just got a note. It's going across the wire. Widow Core found out about this before us because somebody didn't call Corsec. But Yacinda Kinnan has died from an overdose. Yacinda is a Chiss noblewoman. She's been slumming it in 1313 for a few months. It's gotten a bit of notoriety for 1313 in that this is a woman, kind of imagine an it girl. She's young, she's beautiful, she's a noblewoman, she likes a little bit of trouble. She went to the Nunaball tournament, and she was found dead from an overdose. And the captain, because you don't get ahead of the game with your 7 to 9, he informs the team that Yacinda died of a slick overdose. We don't have any information about slick on the streets here. Spice has been the drug of choice, and now someone's moving slick. I need teams on the streets beating heads and finding out who's dealing slick. This is going to come down on us hard, so we need to stay a step ahead of it. And that's when Hop Galadio lowers his like little shades and looks over at you, Pack. Now, Hop has got a cybernetic left hand. I think he's not Lobot level cyborg, but he's had replacements. So I think he's got a cybernetic hand, and I think he's got a little bit of like a built-in like subdermal implant for a comm unit kind of deal. And he lowers his shades and looks over at you, Pack. Says, that's not good. You know anything about this, man?
No, it's moving slick now, huh? I think we stick to our plan. I think we roll the truck out. We do the slam ball tournament?
Nuna ball.
Nuna ball tournament. I think we hit the tournament again tonight. You work the crowd. I'll work the roaster, which is the comm skimmer. I think we stick to plan.
I'm new, but something like Slick hitting the streets, wouldn't you think that Pears would know something about this, or maybe Clink? You know, like, why don't we get those guys to roll on this? Just go pick them up.
You know, maybe we push on Gata.
You think?
Yeah. Tell you what, why don't you go and check out the crime scene where this what was her name again?
Yacinda. She's in the NPCs, upper left-hand corner.
You go check out this crime scene with Yacinda. I'll go put some pressure on Gata. See if we can get him to fess up to what's going on.
So Hop listens, but he really feels like his idea is better. Are you planning on like pressuring him to go into this?
Yeah, I think if I have to, I definitely want him to roll off because I need to talk to D3. This is bad.
Yeah, yeah, it's real bad. It doesn't sound like you're trying to justify your behavior to him. You're just trying to pressure him to go the way you want to go. So go ahead and roll with hustle. On a hit, he'll see your point and has to go along with you.
Okay. Let me roll my hustle. Can I re-roll or do I need to do new dice?
You can re-roll. That's why we did the new.
Gotcha. All right, that's a 9.
What's your hustle?
That makes it a 10 for hustle.
Okay, on a 10 plus, he has to go along with you or mark stress. That's fantastic. He says, "Yeah, you're right, Pat. You're right." So, and he like
I think to pressure him, I'm like, yeah, you're right. You're new. Now go check out the crime scene.
Okay, I'll check out this crime scene. You're going to talk to Gata. Sounds good. Yeah. Okay, and he will head out and get on. Yeah, I don't think that Hop is the kind of guy to have a speeder bike, so he'll probably just take a speeder, like a Corsair speeder, to head over that way. So Pac, what do you do? So you got some people to talk to? Oh goodness, that's a great picture. Yep, that's a great picture of Gunvina. I'm into it.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop a line to D3. How do we normally like acknowledge that we have to meet D3? What's the normal channel of communication there?
I wonder if you indicate somehow on some schedule about the food trucks that the food truck is going to be at a different location than it normally is going to be.
Okay. Yeah, so like it's the Nuna Ball tournament's coming up, and normally I'd be in with the rest of the thing, but we're in gonna be on the south end zone now, and that's a signal.
Nice. Cool. So you guys have set a meet. Are you going to meet at the Setsu's Show Cantina? Is that our thing? So that'll be the next scene that we have for you two guys meeting up. But I want to pick up with Ona. And you know what? I'd like to have Ona and Dithy in the same scene. So, and I'm thinking like this is the scene where either Pears, Ayaz, or Clink reveals that, hey, that Chiss noblewoman died from taking Slick. So sound cool. So where do you guys think Ona and Dithy and Ona's gang might be?
I'm thinking would Ona come to the lab, to Dithy's lab? I don't know if Ona would bring the whole crew there. But maybe somewhere close to the lab.
Yeah, actually, so I don't think it's a good idea for me to go to the lab because your lab's dangerous.
Yeah, that's a good
but
point.
I think what I'll do is you can come. We can meet near the lab where the crowds are. I imagine. Okay, I imagine that there's some worse off food trucks with like some tables outside for the crowds for the Nunaball thing that's coming in.
Yeah.
And we meet at one of these tables in this crowd, so it's sort of like we're just visiting or something like that out in public.
Gotcha.
Nice.
And Ona's going to say, so we need some more of that Slick. I mean, we tore through all of it. I think we're getting a good price.
Well, you picked the start of the Nunaball Galaxy Cup once every 4 years tournament to pick to start this operation. Bravo.
Well, I mean, you don't pick these things; they just happen. And I'm telling you, we have more customers here. We could sell everything you could possibly make. You can make stuff, can't you? But I think about then is when Clink says, "Oh yeah, he can make stuff that kills Chiss nobles."
Yeah. Hold on. Let's. What do you guys think about this for Clink's voice? So.
Yeah, he can make stuff that kills Chiss nobles. Nice work there, Dithy.
And Ona shoots Clink like a glare, and was like, "Keep your mouth shut," and then turns back and says, there's been,
Yeah, Clank, why don't we test our stuff out on Clank next time? How about that?
Yeah, just try it, buddy.
Hey, that wasn't my stuff, okay? That woman, she was asking for it. If it wasn't going to be, the Slick, it was going to be something else.
Yeah.
Ayaz kind of tugs on Dithy's nice looking robes. Like it was our stuff.
She probably
I
that
sold it
woman.
to her.
She probably took too much. These drugs, are very dangerous. I never want you to take any of these. And we'll in a short time we'll be out of this place. All right, but you don't take any of this stuff, okay?
No, I can't afford it.
But can you? So you got the contacts. The more I make, the more you can sell. Oh no, that's what you're saying.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, because I don't know how long. I'm not made for this sort of work. There's with the New Republic coming along. There's probably some new universities I can get to. Maybe get a new identity somewhere and start over. So look, I'm not going to be around here forever.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, but you've always got a family here. You can always come back if something happens.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'll get on it. I don't know. This whole Nunaball tournament's going to make things complicated, but we'll see what I can do.
Dithy, your comm unit, and I'm thinking like original trilogy, like the comm units look like little lipstick cases kind of deal with a speaker wire on the side. Your comm unit bleeps. It's the code from your mom.
Oh,
she obviously needs you.
Oh, okay. Good Lord. Look, we'll meet back when I got some more stuff. I'll signal you, and find the users.
Yeah. Do you have anything to move now? Any spice or anything like that I can move?
No.
Sorry, I didn't catch the first half.
Oh, I'm sorry. I asked if he had anything I could move now, like some spice or something like that.
I would say, yeah. I have no. You have it all. You have it all. I need to get back on it.
Yeah, you covered it up. Yeah, you haven't used up the last of something vital. So you've got spice and you've got slick. The spice, you've got a routine, I would imagine, Onathon. Like you've got your regulars. Slick, though, there's demand, right? There's pent up demand. This is the new thing. So you can charge a little bit more, but this Chiswa noblewoman just died from slick, so that's not good either.
Be careful. Be careful. There people are going to be. You sure you want to be pushing it now? Think this. You might get a lot more attention on you.
Now's where the credit is. No guts, no glory. We have to push this stuff. I'll rebrand it as something new, and we'll see. Oh, maybe I'll even take advantage of this woman's death, and put in the thing that only kills nobles or something like that. Maybe I can spin this just right.
Okay, my thing beeps off again. Okay, I gotta take this. Yeah. Hello, mother.
And Ona just kind of shakes her head.
Darling.
Yeah, I'm at the university right now. I'm about to teach a class. What do you need?
Oh, darling, you want to teach it? What are you teaching, darling? I'm always interested in your work.
Oh, it's a basic off-world biology class. It's the thing they weed out the plebes from the university. That kind of thing.
Didn't you say you were teaching that last week? I'm a little confused. Why would you repeat the class?
Mother, it goes on all semester. It's a semester-long class.
So it sounds like you're trying to justify your behavior.
Yes. Yeah.
Go ahead and roll with face. Do mark your key because you're lying to your mom about your nefarious activities. But go ahead and roll with face and see if she will broadly accept your logic and trust your answers.
Face is -1.
Your face is no bueno.
8 -1, 7.
Nice. Okay, so on a hit, they broadly accept your logic and trust your answers. On a 10+, they ask you a few tough questions, answer them, and clear a stress. So you don't get the opportunity to clear a stress,
Mhm.
but I don't think you necessarily had any right now.
I
She
had
says,
one stress.
oh, okay. Well, you could have cleared stress, right? You marked stress because of the opening roll. So she says, oh, okay. A semester. Yes. Well, I need some new medicines, darling. Yeah, my mouth sores are coming back again. You know what they say? Mort.
Oh yeah. Oh, mother. I'll bring that this weekend. I'm a
Oh
little
no,
busy
darling.
now.
Oh, they've already called in the prescription to the store. I need you to pick it up, and unfortunately, I need you to help me with that one, darling. Please, Dithy, I need your help. Mort.
Oh yes, mother. Yes, mother. I'll be there. I'll be there tonight.
Oh, thank you so much. You're such a dear. I will cook for you. Your favorite
Oh, excellent. The fish pizza.
fish pizza, absolutely. It will be ready for you. Oh, perhaps 6 o'clock. Would that be good? I will have it ready for you then, Dithy.
Excellent, mother. I will see you there.
Please remember the store closes at 5:30, so you should grab that on the way over and make sure that my mouth medicine arrives.
Yes, mother. Yes, of course, mother.
Kisses.
Mwah!
And then and the end. Did Ona like pull a fade during this conversation? Was she gone?
Yeah, I think that she kind of turned and kind of, she and the rest of her crew kind of headed off out into the crowd. She kind of, backhanded Clink a little bit for mouthing off. And then, you get a picture of like Ona, talking to somebody and being, hand gestures and, then shakes their hand and passes something across and a little bit of money exchange hands. Yeah.
Nice. You're just like you're working it. That sounds fantastic. We will cut scene here to the Setsu's show cantina, and yeah, I think what we have is there's like a Twillick brother sister, or they kind of play along those lines, who are up and singing. This is the early morning crowd, so these guys aren't great, right? This is like this is the ones who don't get paid as much, but they get the opportunity. They're kind of working through their routine. But it's enough where there are people here for lunch, and this is when D3, RP, and Pack, you guys were set to meet. So D3, we know that this is a canteen that doesn't allow droids, but they allow you. Do you have a place within the cantina where you normally meet with people because you work for Groga.
Yeah, I think there's a booth in the corner.
Nice.
Having been in hospitality, even though D3 is a droid, they had a reputation beforehand and were sort of well known. So they've always been allowed in places like this. But yeah, there is definitely a circular booth in the corner where business goes down.
Nice. So Pack, you've shaken Hop so you can meet with D3. You head in. You're undercover, right? You don't look like a Coruscant. Do they recognize you? Have you been here enough to where they might know you? Because D3 attracts a lot of attention.
So I think Pax uses like sometimes there's a food truck that's associated with a restaurant. I think this is the restaurant to my food truck. So I'm like that. I'm picking up the frozen porgs right in the back, and I go out to the table where D3 is at, and I slide a data pad over that just has can't remember names. Yacinda's face, Yacinda's like obit in it. Slide it over to D3. So what's this?
This appears to be the face of a human woman.
Yeah. She's dead.
I assume so. You are showing me her obituary.
Yeah. 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 What's your girlfriend doing right now?
We do not have that kind of relationship. She does not inform me of her whereabouts.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we got to talk because my partner is hot on this case. And I need you to do something about it, or this is all is going to collapse in on our heads.
Like any other death on 1313, this too shall blow over. I say be patient.
No, this isn't. No, D3, this isn't blowing over. This is big. This isn't some Slimo on the streets, okay? This is Yacinda. She's on the HoloNet. She's a big deal.
You all look the same to me.
Really? Really?
However, if you think this will bring trouble to...
Yeah, it's bringing trouble right now.
If you think this will bring trouble to the boss and her family, I shall look into it and ask Ona to dial down the sales of Slick.
Oh, so we're admitting it now. Okay, cool.
Oh, just to step in for a second, just so it's clear, like Groga never deals Slick. Groga's that old style, like we do spice. This is what we do.
Right.
So, okay, let me take a step back.
No, it's fine.
Rather than say it out loud. I will look into this and determine if there is a connection to the boss, if this can get back to the boss.
Yeah, if this is Gata, if this is Kylene on the side, it's got to stop, and it's got to stop now.
Leave it to me.
I guess I have no choice.
You could help every once in a while rather than just show up and complain.
Listen. I help, okay? I'm helping.
By telling us things we already know.
You don't understand. You don't understand how hot this case is. It's not just another Slimo. This is a big deal.
And then just as you guys are talking about that, 4 stormtroopers walk into Setsu's show cantina, one of them with the orange shoulder pad signifying that they are effectively a sergeant. Stormtroopers don't normally come into Setsu's show cantina, but they come in and you see them head over and talk to the maitre d' and have a quick conversation.
We should wrap this up. Take your frozen birds and go.
Just slamming on the data pad as I walk away.
Nice. So, Pac, we follow you. You head through the kitchen, you get away from the troopers. Like they're not actively looking for you. If they were, then you pull rank on them, whatever. You head out through the kitchen. We see that there's a bunch of I don't know, like maybe there's like a family of Rhodians that work here in the back of Setsu's show cantina, cooking food and everything. So we see like walks and a bunch of noise and activity. Open the door to head to the alleyway where you've parked your speeder food truck. But before you get there, you hear a little voice say, "Hey, Pat Crearch," and glance around. You see Widow Core with his ever-present data pad. He records everything. "Hey, Pat Crearch."
Hey, another day, another dollar. What are you doing down here?
Oh, just following up on some recent scoops I've had. Yeah, you heard about that, right? Huh?
I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm loading up the food truck. You got the Nunaball Galaxy Cup tonight.
Oh yeah. That's what it's all about. Yacinda Cleanan, dead. dead from Slick.
Does she buy porgs, Witter? Does she buy my porgs?
She would not deign to do such a thing. I'm sure.
Well,
you
then
know
why
it,
do I
don't you?
care?
Why do you care? Been cross-referencing that person who often frequents this place, that Hop Galadio. Interesting person. You know a little bit about him? What do you want to say on the record about your customer, Hop Galadio?
Hop Galadio likes the porgs extra spicy. I don't know what you're trying to get at, Witor. I think I have to
show you
justify
all the
my
times that he's
behavior
coming in. I think he doesn't always order, if you know what I'm saying.
Do I need to justify my behavior here?
I think you do.
I think
That's exactly what you need to do.
Oh, that's a 6 plus, what is it?
Face.
That's a 7.
Oh man. Okay. So on a hit, they broadly accept your logic and trust your answers. So he says, so nothing. If I ever find out about you and Hop, then you didn't know anything about it. But for now, officially, on the record, as it were, you're just a lowly street vendor. Just a nobody. That's what you're saying, Pat Creech?
Yep. Just another, what was it, the word? Lurdo. Just another Lurdo. Just another
Right.
Lurdo like you.
Go ahead, Mark and XP. So I'll see you at the Noonaball tournament. You hear anything about Slick, though? You calm me, yeah? It's a brand new drug. Really exciting. 1313's crazy for it. I'm hearing it all over the place. So anything you hear about that, scoop me, Pack. You know, you got all these customers. You know, I've heard they talk, right? Just chat them up or work your team. Keep all three eyes open. Yeah.
Drugs are for droids, Witter. Drugs are for droids.
And you hop in, and we have a confused look from the Ugnaught of like, that doesn't even make sense. Oh no, where do you go once you leave Dithy?
So I think I start.
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Awesome. So I think I go out and I start. I direct the rest of the crew. You know, start selling a little bit. I think Pears goes and hits up the big fans that like paint themselves up in the Noonaball colors and all that kind of stuff. And he starts slumming around with the big bros and everything like that. I think Ayaz goes and starts, slips into the crowd, and she starts picking, finding people with loose purses. So I go back and I take the remaining slip that we have, and I start carefully repackaging it. And I'm going to repackage it and, print out new labels and all that kind of stuff. But I'm going to set one like package off to the side, right? This is the old stuff that probably the chess woman OD'd on. I'm going to set that off to the side in a good little hiding spot just in case I need it. And then I repackage all the slick that we have, and I'm going to see if I can't start pushing it a little bit out on the street, as a fantastic alternative to the spice.
Wow, that sounds dangerous. I think you should roll your pushing move.
Pushing.
Yeah, when you offload product on the street, roll with hustle.
Awesome. So I rolled a 6, and my hustle
Your
is a
hustle's
1. It's a 7.
All right. So on a hit, convert drugs to cash at market rates as much as you like. On a 7 to 9, you run into cops or someone tries to dine and dash. Your choice. You get to choose.
I think cops are much better.
Yeah. So we'll say that you've just slid off a deal with slid off a deal with this rigger named Solomon Falwin. He grabs some slick after a little bit of chatter with you, and then you.
So as I go to leave Solomon, I'm like, no, you be careful with that, sir. It's dangerous.
Oh, don't worry.
Yeah.
I know all about it. Yeah, and he smiles. He's excited to try this out. Yeah, and then,
hey, Onathon,
And I
Oh,
kinda
it's
go,
on.
And
Yeah.
then you see a stormtrooper. It's just a pair of them, though.
I, kind of grasp my hands. I hit a little, what's the right word? A little button on my bracer. So it'll send a signal to the rest of the crew. And I raise my hands and I'm like, there's nothing going on here. We're just, making a little bit of side bet on the Nunaball. It's okay.
Likely story. All right, Ona. Listen, we need some information.
Oh, yeah.
You
Yeah.
can either give me information or I can take you down to the station.
Well, I don't like it very much down there. What do you need to know?
We want to know about Slick. Someone's moving it. Who? Who's moving it?
Oh, you know that this is kind of Grona's house, and Grona doesn't do any slick, right? I mean, so yeah, there's no.
So that means someone's moving in on your territory, Onathon, right? You dirty little nerf herder.
Yeah, if they are, then Grona needs to know about it right away. I'll get to the bottom of this. Is there anything in it for me if I let you know before I let Grona know?
Do you like walking on the street? Do you like selling your little stuff?
Well,
That's what's in it for you, Onathon.
yeah, but if I go to you before I go to Groga, I might not be walking at all. So that's dangerous to me, just as dangerous as you are. You're putting me in a difficult position.
That's not my problem, Onathon.
But you are I think you're trying to propose a deal here, right?
Oh, okay.
Propose a deal to get what you want. Because I don't think you need to justify your behavior per se. This stormtrooper seems to know exactly what you're up to. Damn Imperials. You're going to be rolling with face.
Okay. My face is a 1. When I rolled a 5.
Ooh,
So
that's a
6.
fail.
Yep.
Nice. So here's what happens. This stormtrooper just has had enough, right? Like, they say something along the lines of,
Fine. You know what? You're going to cool your heels for a little bit inside a small 5x5, and then you'll see if you have your priorities in order.
and that's when you hear a blaster bolt go off. As your crew, who you notified, hey, come keep an eye out. None other than Pears just shot this stormtrooper in the back of the head.
That's right. I'm like,
Because that's what he's there for.
not to think, just to shoot.
Right. So he just shot one of the 2 stormtroopers. There's another stormtrooper. That stormtrooper is now going to probably shoot Pears. What do you do?
I think whenever the other stormtrooper turns around to see what happens, I'm going to step up and I'm going to shank him. What do I have? I have a piece. I have a really bad blaster, so I'm going to shoot I'm going to see if I can't take the muzzle of that blaster and shove it in between the chinks in the armor and pull the trigger.
Oh, that's hot. I love it. So you are currently turning to violence. When you turn to violence, roll with savagery. On a hit, you get to trade harm as established.
I rolled an 11. Oh, wait. Let me make sure. Yes, I rolled an 11, and my savagery is a 1, so I got a 12.
Oh, nice. So on a 10 plus, you get to choose 3. Inflict terrible, suffer little harm, resist marking stress, avoid collateral damage.
Oh. I'm going to inflict terrible harm. I'm going to suffer little harm. And I get to choose one more. Can I choose terrible harm again? You're on mute.
Dang it. That will kill the stormtrooper. Are you sure you want to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. All right then.
I'm not smart. Yeah.
But I mean, maybe you are. Maybe you are. Sweet. So the stormtrooper pulls up their blaster against your buddy Pears and fires off a shot, hits him in the shoulder, and you whip out your little blaster pistol right in the chink of his armor, like where the black is, you're not hitting the white, and shoot him right in in the side, and it's blasted. We actually see the blaster bolt come out through his shoulder, and he drops. And both stormtroopers are dead in an alley.
And I go, Pearce, huh, there's a reason why you get more than anybody else. You've got a good cut. Quick, let's move these bodies off the street. And I think we peel the armor off of them, because that's always useful, and stow it away, and then we're going to dump the bodies somewhere.
Oh yeah,
I think they all have like communicators inside, and we make sure to stomp those.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. So I think you're gonna have to like push your luck to pull all of this off, right? This is not a hidden street. There are people who could have watched this or who might say something. So push your luck, roll with grit, and we'll see how things go.
I got an 11.
What? Those dice are hot.
Yeah. And the grit is a -1, so I got a 10.
Okay. So on a 10 plus, fortune favors the bold. You are able to get away with murdering a couple stormtroopers in an alley in 1313. Oh my goodness. So we'll cut away from you like peeling off the armor. And I think this is a thing where all of a sudden, after all the violence happens, Clink shows up and helps out with stripping down the stormtrooper. And Iaz will, of course, like, work over their pockets and stuff like that. It's not like she hasn't learned that this is, a thing you do.
And I think as Iaz kind of is going through the pockets a little bit, pulls out like an ID badge or something like that. And I take that and I kind of put it aside. I'm going to put that with the old slick container that I have. This is, just for good keeping.
Nice. Yeah, nice. So let's jump back to Dithy. You passed off what you had cooked up for Onathon to move. Is there anything that you're doing in the interim? Otherwise, we have a thing.
Well, I think definitely want to get some more supplies for the slick for another batch.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking maybe picking some of that up or acquiring that. We'll say on my way to get the prescription, going to my mom's house, which I live with my mother. So actually, I live with her. So it's,
just come home. Yeah, so you just go home. That sounds good.
As far as picking up stuff, let me see here. How about I have access? I was able to make this slick from supplies at my old university post. Like I'm stealing from them to get some stuff. Like, maybe I have my key card still works. You know what I mean? Like it just happens to.
Nice. Okay.
And so, yeah.
We'll say that this is a thing where the main university is up on the surface, but they have these little satellite virtual school rooms or virtual classroom type deals where you can go in and there's effectively a proctor and all that kind of stuff, and you can slide in there. And they do have areas where you could have a laboratory. That's where you're hoping to steal from. And if I remember, Widow Core was your old college.
Yep.
Okay. College.
Yep.
So D3RP, after your meeting with Pack, Groga reaches out and she sends you to go talk to Dithy to make sure that Dithy has nothing to do with Slick. Groga is very clear and very, very D3RP. I need you to make sure Dithy is not making Slick. Personally, you go make sure. Yes?
It is as you command. I will go see the Ithorium immediately.
So Dithy, you head in and you're grabbing some more of intending to grab some more supplies to make sure that you can stock up when... What is D3RP? You roll in a really slick looking speeder, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah, they had a kind of limousine type
Yeah.
from their old hospitality gig. So
Nice. Is this a thing that you actually drive, or do you have a driver, like another astromech droid that drives you?
EV ET used to or
Yeah, busy working with.
used to drive it, but he's been repurposed. So yeah, I drive it. It's real shabby now. It's really kind of fallen.
So it's like a Rolls Royce from 30 years ago that
right.
you haven't exactly kept up.
Right.
Frame's
right.
still not. Okay, cool.
That's what EV used to do. 3D used to do. So.
Oh yeah, Dithy, you hear the whoop 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 of the limo speeder that D3 flies as you're headed in. What do you do, Dithy?
Okay. He's there. Well, I don't want anyone to see me go in there. And so I actually act like I don't see him, right? I kind of ignore him and just, but just I walk past it as if I'm just going somewhere else.
And I say, Dithul Haboth, I need to speak with you.
D3. Yeah, I'm on my way to pick my mom needs her prescription.
I am not interested in your affairs.
Yeah, whatever. Yes. Well, what do you need to know?
There has been some recent news. Are you aware of the recent news?
Oh, that Galaxy Cup. Oh man, yeah, it's everywhere.
We're going to need to speed up this conversation. Are you aware of the recent news that might affect our enterprises?
Well, that woman died, but that was all slick, right?
Please keep your voice down.
Well, what do you need? What do you need, D3?
So I'm gonna step in because there's a really cool move in Cartel that I think we can engage with here. It's called Get the Truth. So it's on the A column of basic stress and drug moves. It's a little bit of a head flip, so I wanted to kind of prep you guys. But in Get the Truth, when you try to get the truth out of someone, you roll with hustle. On a hit, you get to clear a stress. The person who's rolling gets to clear a stress. On a 10 plus, you pick 2. On a 7 to 9, you pick 1. So the person rolling picks it. And then, NPCs or PCs, that's what you're kind of limited to as far as trying to respond. Does that make sense? I'd like to give it a shot if we could.
Let's do it.
All right.
I assume D3 is the one who is trying to get the truth.
Yeah, you're trying to get the truth here about, and you're like, hey, you're asking about Slick and making sure that Dithy isn't dealing with Slick, right? So,
sadly, I invested primarily in face, so my hustle is -1. But I will give it a shot. I said I will give it a shot. There we go. Actually, I rolled a 3. -1 is 2.
Oh yeah, carry on. I'll have a reaction for you in just a minute here.
Okay.
Yeah. So the last thing that you said was you were talking about the Chiss nobleman and Slick. I'll have an interrupt in just a minute. You guys,
okay.
Keep going.
Dithul Haboth, I do not need to tell you that if any of this comes back to you, and let me be very clear, the manufacturer of this Slick has your dirty fingerprints all over it.
Dirty fingerprints. I am Ithorian nobility. You don't speak to nobility that way.
I speak to whoever. You meet sacks all the same way. Let me be very clear.
I'm sorry. You just can't reprogram us and all of a sudden we're something different.
Oh my God. How do you handle that, D3?
I consider that a feature, not a bug of droids.
Well, look. Hey, I'm sorry I said that. I got a little, things are stressful with my mother, and this Nunaball's driving me crazy. But look, if I hear of anything, I'll let you know.
Nunaball affects, insults me far more than it insults you. Those are players that have been trained to a T. And do you think they get paid for their endorsements? No. Do you think they get paid?
The Nunaball. It's for Jawas, right? Why don't we put this stuff back on Tatooine?
I will ignore those comments because I don't understand them. Let me just be very clear. Let us ensure that any new business that we are pursuing is done so in a way that is very clean. The boss likes doing things the old-fashioned way. We have been very successful with that model. There is no need to depart from it.
Understood, D3.
So let's see if this is just lip service. I want to see you pressure someone, D3RP. Go ahead and roll with hustle. You're not great stat.
Hustle?
I know. It's okay though.
Well, I doubled my last one, so I rolled a 4, including my hustle. Is there sort of a threat of violence? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to say...
yeah, I mean, it's the threat of violence or the threat of making their lives pretty terrible. So usually violence.
I actually had an idea as to why the slick might have not worked or might have killed them. And that might be that at some point I was able to sabotage 3V. Helping make the things to kind of get some revenge. So
that sounds amazing. Let's work that in.
I might I don't know how to do this in real life, but I might sort of hint at the fact, sort of make this kind of threat, like
it's along the lines of like, if you're doing any other kind of stuff, be advised that maybe not everything will go your way.
Yes, exactly.
And cool. I think we'll use that to bring that scene to a close. Seems like D3 has let you know, Dithy, things might not be as clean as you thought with the slick that you have manufactured. What do you do, Dithy?
That I thought it was a very pointed threat, and already I was thinking, like, did I screw this up? Right? I had my doubts, and then now I'm like that much more paranoid. Like, did Ona do something? Did she mess with it? Maybe did she cut it to do her own stuff? What does D3 know? Am I being followed? All that sort of stuff. So I do an extra walk around the block and then go back in to get the supplies.
Sweet. So based on those 2 fails, D3, I'm just going to go ahead and give you 2 stress.
Oh, yeah.
And it sounds like our cook is pretty stressed out with all the things we've dropped your way. So I'm going to give you another stress as well.
All right.
Actually, that's not true. D3, you just tried to get the truth out of somebody about their true loyalties. You literally did that thing. So mark XP for that.
All right.
And do you think maybe by talking about your betrayal with the slick is also guilt? Like guilt influenced that a little bit? I think so. It could easily be that as a motivating factor. So I think you hit both those.
All right. I'll take them.
What about arrogance?
Yes, although I should probably be pushing you. There is actually a stress move called verbally abuse or shame that it seemed like you were headed towards, and I didn't call the move trigger. The move triggered, and I didn't call for the dice to hit. But let's go ahead and I don't want you to suffer for that, so go ahead and mark the XP. And that should get you what, the 2? So you guys are real close. Sweet. So let's cut back over to Pack as you hear over the comms, over the the police band, the Corsec, that the THX 430 and 482 haven't checked in the last hour. Their last known location was on the corner of, we'll say, like Perrin and I was going to name like a Star Wars artist, but I can't remember one right off the top of my head. Damn it. Perrin and Lucas. So
I think I might I'm in the truck hauling, and I hear that come over the comms, and I switch off that part of the comms, and I make a diversion to swing by their patrol route to try and find out where they may have gone off to.
cool. Hop, Galadio, you think maybe he's already caught up with you? It's been a few hours since the last time you just met.
Yeah, maybe he's riding shotgun at this point.
He's riding shotgun. He says, "Man, this slick stuff's all over. I don't know if you heard, but there are troopers all over the place. They've really called in the heavy muscle. I mean, I guess you knew that, right, Pack? Right, of course, right? Because you're the guy.
It's all standard operating procedure. What backwater world were you on?"
Nar Shaddaa.
You are awfully green for coming from Nar Shaddaa. Yeah, someone big goes down, OD, white heads come out. Just another day. Now, two of them not coming back on patrol. Yeah, that's a little strange. We should go take a look.
So,
find that crime scene.
Yeah, I think you're gonna probably. I mean, there was somebody who pushed their luck and did okay with it. So I think Ona, you're gonna get a little bit of a heads up from Ayaz, saying, "Hey, Ona, the food truck is on its way."
So I think that what we see so Ayaz is a good distance away and sees the food truck pull out. But I think Clink and Pears and I are right there, and we cleaned everything up. We're getting ready to head out, and I think we see, us quickly working our way through the crowd, the opposite direction of the crowd, as the food truck zips that way towards the thing. And it'd be great if you saw us working our way through the crowd. Yeah.
Yeah, you totally. You catch sight of Ona around the area that you're patrolling, and you could probably come upon the corpses, I'm sure, if that's a thing you actually wanted to go do.
No, I don't want to it obviously blows the cover, right? If we get out and start investigating, we're a food truck. Maybe my partner wants to do that, but I grab his arm. Come on.
Hey,
we're selling
that's Ona.
Yeah, phone it in. What? Oh, Ona? Yeah. Ona's definitely going to be there at the Nuna ball. Snap some pictures.
Pulls out, has this little,
No. I slap the camera. No, in the back. Use the hidden camera.
Oh, it goes in the back. Yeah. Sorry. I'm new. Sweet. So he will snap some pics of Onathon and Ayaz and Pears. Cool. So
I phone in the dead stormtroopers and then continue on our way.
So I'd like to kind of smash cut with looking at time. Maybe we pick up with Nuna Ball tournament in full force here. So Ona, you've probably still got a little bit of slick to move. Who is it among your crew that reaches out to you to say, "Hey, I've got some white hats that are following me, and I've got some of this stuff. Should I dump it? You think it's Pears? Do you think it's Clank? Do you think it's Ayaz?
I think that's Clink. So I say, we got your back. Don't worry, we'll be right there. And then I go on a private. Do you mind if I escalate this a little bit?
Yeah, please do.
Yeah. So I go on a private channel, and I tell Ayaz, you steer clear. And then I go on a different private channel, and I go to Pears, and I tell him, shit's gone down. Clink's turned us in. We need to take him down. So I think we can turn him into the bucket heads, and make sure he doesn't squeal on us. And I'm gonna need your help with that. So that could be my brother's move, which is how I get my gang to go along with something I'm leading, or it could be propose a deal.
I kind of like brothers. That's what you're best at. So let's see how you get your gang to follow your lead on something dangerous or costly or out of the ordinary.
So I rolled a 5, and my hustle is a 1, so that's a 6. They fight among themselves about shit Poodoo I thought was settled, screwing up my plans before I even start.
Yeah. Sweet. Yeah, so I think Pears. Yeah, so here's what happens. You tell Pears, oh, okay, there's a thing, Clink's turned on us, and Pears that's all Pears needs to hear. He says, I got it. Yeah. And then before you know it, he has his blaster rifle out, and he just starts gunning down the troopers and Clink, like as people are outside of the Nunaball, because Clink was just working people who are heading into the stadium, pretending to be scalping tickets, that kind of thing, and then just moving little bits of slick, and right out in broad daylight. Pack, you see this.
Okay, so Pack yells back to who is my partner? I keep forgetting everyone's names this morning. Hop, hold on. And I slam the speeder into full gear, and I'm just gonna try and hit Piers. I'm just gonna try and be like the hero of the day, right? The madman. So
okay.
I'm turning to violence, which I'm not great at, unless I've identified myself as ISB, and I'm not gonna do that.
You're not gonna do that?
Not here in front of all
food
these
truck.
people.
Okay, sweet. Meanwhile, Dithy, you've gathered your materials. You've just picked up the meds, and you were starting to head home when you're passing by the stadium, and you see this like huge blaster fight. You recognize Ona Thon, one of her crew members, and another one of her crew members, and a bunch of stormtroopers. What does Dithy drive? An old luxury vehicle?
Yeah, it's just like his clothing. This is maybe his dad's car. So,
yeah, it's like a space Monte Carlo kind of deal. I love it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nice. It's playing some like very refined string music.
Yeah. He looks at that so I see the blaster fight, and I see was it Ayaz, and I see Ona in the crowd as well.
Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah, you do.
Okay, I see. I guess let's just say this is what I see. I see the food truck slam into Piers.
Yes.
And that's all I need to know. Like, yeah. Oh, good Lord. So I stop the car, and I shake my head. And basically what I'm thinking of is this slick is going to give us enough money that I can take my mom back to our homeworld. So this is my motivation. And I was like, God, is Ona going to screw this up? Okay, do I see Ona and Ayaz?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you spot them in the crowd. You know how to look for Ona, and Ayaz is just bright red enough to.
I'm going to try to swing by him, see if I can get him out of the situation.
Okay. And then D3, after you reported back to Groga, telling her, like, did you tell her that Dithy is solid, or do you feel like maybe you don't trust?
I actually don't feel like I went to Groga at all.
Oh, okay, cool.
The command, I'm a droid.
So what did you do when Groga reached back out to you? Because Groga wants to know.
I simply indicate that I conveyed the message, and that Dithy was about as you might expect, unable to commit one way or the other whether this was his or not. But I conveyed that we do not deal in slick. That is not our thing. But I think what I also ended up doing was going to get the spouse, and what I'm going to try.
Good. You're a step ahead of me. That's perfect.
Trying to say, you know what, Slick is going to bring this thing down. I'm sort of anticipating Slick is bringing this thing down, so I'm going to grab the spouse who might turn me in, and I'm going to try and rescue 3V, and I'm going to get out of Dodge.
Ooh, that is pretty dangerous.
That's my intent anyway.
I love it. So let's have you. I think you're pushing your luck. That seems like the most appropriate move for what you're doing.
Sure. Let me just see.
You'll be rolling with grit.
Yeah. If you want to, at some point, I've got a move called Quick Exit when I try and.
Oh, well, then let's just do that. Quick Exit. When you try to exit a tense situation, roll a face. Hey, you've got a 3 face. Holy crap, you're great at this.
Yeah. I was trying to go when I created. Anyway, I'm wondering if I sort of grab all these folks and then I end up in the firefight or end up being confronted by Groga.
Nice. Yes, you're in the move. You're in the middle of trying to get this out. Let's roll the dice and they'll tell us how well you pulled it off. We're minutes from ending the game anyway, so this is a great time to pull out.
I'm rolling great too. So I think this was a 4 plus my face is a 7. So
okay, on a 7 to 9, you got to leave something behind. Here's the deal. You got to leave something behind. You either have to leave your reprogrammed Best Buddy 3v3T, or you have to leave behind Gunvenna and he will rat you out in a heartbeat. Who do you leave behind?
This is why I play these games, because these games are amazing. I think I leave the spouse behind, Gunvenna behind, thinking that I would rather roam the galaxy with a reprogrammed astromech than some Twi'lek.
Oh, sweet. So you in the slick limo speeder and everything starts to break out, and I mean maybe you shove Gunvenna out the door. Right. And grab 3v3T and
the speeder can no longer handle the weight of 2 droids and a
okay.
Droid,
so. And then Dithy, you spotted Ona and Ayaz. What is your plan as this fight is breaking out? Because there are more troopers coming.
Okay, I feel like I have 2 choices. I can either save Ayaz and Ona might go away, or I can say Ona, and who knows what happens to Ayaz. So I have to choose one to get out of there.
Cool. So you're going to offer a ride to help get out of there. Let's have you push your luck then.
All right. What is there a plus on that?
That's grit. It's plus grit.
Oh, +2. Oh, wait a second. Okay. There we go. 6 + 2, 8.
All right. On push your luck with a 7 to 9, things don't work out quite like you'd hoped. I'll tell you how you can turn things around if you act quickly, make an ugly choice, or tough it out. Yeah, you're trying to figure out who to grab of the 2. If you're willing to be spotted by the stormtroopers and be on their radar, you can save or offer a ride to get out of here to Ayaz or Ona, your choice, both even if Ona would allow that. Or you can fill out your stress track, which means you're going to get shot at. They won't exactly identify you, but your car is going to be in rough shape.
Okay, I think I don't know what I'm doing. I grab Ona. I tell myself Aya's can get out of there on her own. That she's a kid, but she's
Actually, if you don't mind, Ona says, "I'm still working. You take Aya's."
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I grab, and let's say let's max out the stress.
And you coming to save Ayaz is like her dream come true. This big, noble Ithorian with his amazing car zipped in out of nowhere for her. You've just fulfilled her childhood
Right.
dreams of being saved by a big, awesome nobleman. So, Pac, let's see how this turn to violence turns out for you.
Yeah. How good is my driving? Probably not great. All right.
Roll with savagery.
No, that's a 2. Oh,
Wow. Man. Okay, so here's what happens. And this might be our like last moment. You slam into Peaches, knocking him over. You actually, you're on a speeder, right? So it's not like he's caught underneath the wheels or anything. But you hit him and then you drive for a little bit further. Then he climbs up over the hood because you just hit him but didn't actually kill him. And he reaches onto his little, pulls out a thermal detonator, pops the button, and then throws it into your food truck and rolls off. And I think looking at time, that might be our closing shot. There's distant shot, Nuno ball, crowd, stadium, troopers all moving in, and then from the thermal detonator.
So I've got something. Are we going to have epilogues or anything?
Yeah, that's exactly where I was about to go.
Okay.
So because this is one of those one shots and short, I'd like for you guys to have a chance to put your character to bed. Unless you think your character's dead, then they're already in bed of some kind. So we'll just let Steven do the first epilogue. Epilogue can be it can be a thing that sets you up for some other game that may never happen, or it could be many years in the future, and this is how your character kind of ends things off. So what is the epilogue we see for Onathon?
So I think just before this thermal detonator explosion goes off, we see Ona. She's kind of told Dithy, take Aya, and Aya's, and runs towards where Clink is. And you can see the look of hope on Clink's face. And, he doesn't see the trooper who's behind him. And this trooper just lays Clink out. And Ona gets right up to Clink and takes that little packet that has the ID card and the old slick packaging that they found on the Chiss noblewoman, and slips it inside of Clink's little pocket, and takes the existing, the new package slick from his pocket, puts it back in hers, and then heads out.
So you plant the evidence. That's nice. That's your epilogue. Is you basically everything's going to fall on Clink, who's dead. Nice.
Yeah,
that's really cool. What about D3? Do we have an epilogue in mind for D3, Dan?
I think D3 manages to salvage 3V, and you sort of I'm sort of imagining that they didn't get far, so they're still on Coruscant, but he's brought him to some Ugnaught somewhere to kind of have him reprogrammed to try and revive or resuscitate him, but he's never the same. There's too many drugs have gone through his system, and my guess is that D3 has been kind of sucked back in to this world.
Oof.
He doesn't want to.
Nice. I like that. And then what about for Dithy? What's the epilogue we see for him?
Well, I'm thinking of Dithy, right? He got on their radar saying Aya's, and we'll say basically his brief tenure as a cook kind of was totally bust. We'll say his he got on the radar. He got scared. We'll say they found out that he was stealing stuff from the university just by getting on their radar. That was easy to track. Someone just had to notice. So he couldn't get his supplies. We'll say, maybe Ona finds somebody else. I see Ona as in like rising the ranks. She finds a better cook or something and like steals all his supplies. So he goes to his laboratory and all the good stuff's gone. And basically he takes care of Ayaz, but is like maybe working as like a pharmacist. Like he just keeps working his way down the social ladder. Now he's stuck, not even a pharmacist. It's like he works at a Walgreens, in the pharmacy department, but he's working at the Walgreens and maybe has access to it where he makes some drugs to sell on the side, but super small potatoes.
Oh man, that is so ignominious and delightful. That's fantastic. So that'll officially bring our game to a close. We're at
I got an epilogue.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. So I think we see Pac, his cybernetic hand now at his side, and it's Hop's funeral. And that's just like a brief shot as they're laying Hop down into his death vault or whatever they do in Coruscant. And then he gets back in to his like patrol car now, and he drives back, but he makes a turn by the cantina, gets out, goes through a back door, and opens up a freezer, and like it's been retrofitted, and on the other side in a cell is Gunvena, who he picked up, and he's not letting Gunvena get anywhere because Gunvena could put the whole thing back on him. And he just slides some leftover food from the funeral under the door.
Oh, that's good. Sorry for the good name. That's a really good. I'm glad we had that. So that will bring the session to a close. We're at the hour mark, a couple minutes over. Thank you all so much for giving this a shot. This was real fun. I hope you had a good time, and I'll go ahead and bring the stream to a close.